How are you, my class 7 English version students? Today I am also so glad. For why? I am also happy that it's our last topics for half yearly exam. So, next topics we also repeat the half yearly exam syllabus. Today our lesson's name is Sound Making Machines. Sound making machines, its lesson is 10 to 11. Please, everyone open the book, page number 95. Sound. Sound making machines are of two kinds. First is musical instruments and non-musical instruments. So, we know that sound making machines are types of two. One is musical and another is non-musical. Musical instruments are, please everyone make a line, flute, harmonium, one-stringed and two-stringed instruments and sitar, etc. Our familiar non-musical instruments are the horn of vehicles and the bell of bicycle or rickshaw. So, non-familiar and our familiar instruments are divided are two. Again, what is flute and how can flute making sound? Flute. Sound is created by the inside vibrating air of a flute. Air is pushed inside the flute pipe by blowing. The intensity of sound depends upon the length and number of holes of the flute. Here, everyone see the board, figure 8.8. Here I draw the two types. One is change of intensity of sound with the length of tube. Here the two types tube. One is small and another is the long or length. Work. To observe the change of intensity of sound with the open length of tube. Required equipment. A straw or tube which is used in drinking a scissors process. Make the tube flat. Cut the flat end which will be pointed. Blow the cutting end with your mouth. Observe what kind of sound produces. Now, cut the other end of the tube and make it shorter. Can you hear the difference of intensity of sound? Final result. The intensity of sound is more of the shorter tube. Here our first experiment's name is to observe the change of intensity of sound with the open length of tube. Another topics, monochord musical instruments and two-stringed musical instruments. Please everyone again see the board, figure 8.9. Here monochord and two-stringed musical instruments I have just drawn. Here, these are stringed based musical instruments. The instruments produce pleasing sound with the help of vibrating string or wire. The string of a musical instrument vibrates and creates melodious sound when it is pulled or pushed by something. The intensity of sound can be changed by increasing or decreasing its length or thickness of the string. Here the main figure is or main result is the length or thickness of the string. Here I also draw monochord and two-stringed musical instruments. Another is figure 8.10, bell of a bicycle or rickshaw. We are familiar with the sound of bell of a bicycle or rickshaw. Here the bell ring is tung tung. Do you know how this bell produces sound? A round metallic bowl is put upset. A metallic hammer is inserted under the bowl. It has a handle by which the hammer can be moved to and fro, which hits the bowl. It produces sound, tung-tung, as a result of vibration of the bowl. Today I am also giving very short lesson 10 and 11. Here I also know the sound making machines. Here, today this chapter is the ending lesson and I also repeat again. Our lesson 1 was sound and its characteristics. Sound is produced through the vibration of sound. Propagation of sound needs medium. Sound cannot move through the medium of vacuum. It's also very important hints. Again I repeat. Propagation of sound needs medium. Sound cannot move through the medium of vacuum. The limit, it's also another important hint. The limit of audibility of man's ear is, please everyone marks this, 20 to 20,000 hertz. Dog can hear the sound which has frequency more than 20,000 hertz. Below 20 hertz frequency is called hearing pre-sound. Above 20,000 hertz frequency sound is called hearing post-sound. We also know that the two types of sound, pre-sound and post-sound. Pre-sound, that means below 20 hertz frequency, and post-sound is above 20,000 hertz frequency sound. The velocity of sound is the highest in solid and the lowest in the air. Disturbing sound is called noise. You know, sometimes you are also so disturbed in the class. Then the disturbing sound is called noise. The presence of excessive sound in the environment is called contamination of sound. Contamination of sound is injurious to health. Now I also give the sound pollution. Sound may be the cause of insomnia. Insomnia, another name is sleeplessness, headache, high blood pressure, disturbance structure. Contamination of sound may be reduced to a minimum level by planting trees around the house and by the roadsides. This line is also how can we prevent sound pollution. That only and only main cause is planting trees around the houses and by the roadsides. Again I repeat, lesson 1. Lesson 1 is sound and its characteristics. We know what is the characteristics of sound. Lesson 2 and 3 was origin of sound. You know how can origin of sound? Yes, only and only vibration. Third is circulation of sound or propagation of sound. Here we also, you know that, here we also draw that contraction and expansion and vibration. Lesson 5, propagation of sound through. It's also very important topics for your half-yearly exam. Please everyone marks these topics. This topics is propagation of sound through liquid and velocity of sound. Here we also two experiments, not two, basically 3 experiments. One experiment is to know sound does not circulate without medium. Yes. Another was circulation of sound through liquid. And Third was circulation of sound through solid. Have you any idea how can the sound is also so frequency? Yes, circulation of sound through solid. Here we also draw a box. The velocity of sound in the air 343 meter per second, only air. Another line is the velocity of sound in the water 1496 meter per second. The velocity of sound in aluminium or solid 6420 meter per second. Now we also the marking that the velocity of sound in aluminium is very high or solid structure. Lesson 7. How can animals hear sounds? Here we also do a experiment. This experiment was how does vibration of sound vibrate on tympanum? Do you know what is the tympanum? Tympanum is basically the outer shape of our ear, looks mostly like a funnel. When sound enters into it, sound goes through a hole where there is a stressed thin layer at the end. This is called tympanum. Last, lesson 8 and 9, limit of audibility and noise. Here we also know that sound which produces more than 20,000 vibrations per second. Here we also know the unit. This unit name is hertz. Here 20,000 or 20,000 has also hertz is also man can hear. The limits of audibility of man's ear is 20 to 20,000 hertz. Dog can hear the sound which has frequency more than 20,000 hertz. Students, I also just finished our half-yearly exam syllabus. Again, next class, I also repeat chapter 1, lower organisms. It's also a repeat class. So, everyone, please, everyone get ready to prepare for this chapter. Thank you.